They move like liquid shadows beneath the waves, drifting through the water with a grace so alien it feels otherworldly. Their bodies are translucent, their pulses rhythmic, almost hypnotic, as though the ocean itself has breathed them into being. They are jellyfish creatures older than the dinosaurs, survivors of cataclysms that wiped out almost every other species on Earth. They have no brain, no bones, no heart, and yet, for over 500 million years, they've dominated the oceans in silence. And while they may seem fragile, almost harmless, their presence has begun to echo across coasts, industries, the ecosystems with a force that humanity cannot ignore. To understand jellyfish is to peer into the very history of life. They belong to a time when Earth was raw and turbulent, when oceans churned with primitive creatures. Unlike sharks, whales, or fish, jellyfish never needed to evolve complex brains or skeletons to survive. Their soft, gelatinous forms, 95%, water float with the tides, propelled only by simple contractions and the mercy of currents. They cannot plan, they cannot think, and yet they thrive where others perish. Their simplicity is their greatest weapon. What makes jellyfish both fascinating and terrifying is their sheer adaptability. They flourish in warm waters, and as the planet heats up, their populations bloom in staggering numbers. In seas, suffocated by pollution, where oxygen levels drop too low for fish to breathe, jellyfish glide effortlessly. Overfishing removes their natural predators like turtles and sunfish, leaving them unchecked. Even the structures humanity builds in the ocean harbors, rigs, piers, become breeding grounds for jellyfish polyps. Tiny larvae that attach themselves to hard surfaces and bide their time. When conditions shift, those polyps erupt into swarms. So massive, they can stretch for miles, a living tide of pulsating bells. The results can be devastating. Imagine standing on a beach and watching the surf churn, not with waves, but with jelly. In the Philippines, entire coastlines have seen fishing communities shut down when jellyfish swarms destroyed nets, stung swimmers, and poisoned catches. Off the coast of Israel, dense blooms have blocked desalination plants, the very facilities that supply fresh water to cities. Fishermen in Japan know the terror of the Nomura's jellyfish. It's a giant that can grow bigger than a man, weighing over 400 pounds. These monsters tear nets apart, crush boats with their sheer bulk, and release venom that can kill fish instantly. In 2009, billions of Nomuras swarmed into Japanese waters, overwhelming fish farms and causing millions of dollars in losses overnight. And then there are the stings. Most jellyfish stings are painful but survivable, leaving burning welts that fade within days. But some species carry venom so potent it borders on the unimaginable. The box jellyfish of Australia, nearly transparent and impossible to spot in shallow waters, has tentacles lined with stinging cells that can deliver enough venom to stop a human heart in minutes. Victims have described the sensation as liquid, fire spreading under the skin, nerves screaming, muscles convulsing. In the Philippines, the tiny Irukandji jellyfish, barely larger than a fingernail, inflicts a syndrome so excruciating that patients beg to die. High blood pressure spikes, vomiting racks the body, and the pain is relentless, radiating through every nerve ending. For centuries, swimmers have feared sharks, but for those who know the sea, the jellyfish is far deadlier. But here lies the paradox. For all their danger, jellyfish are also mesmerizing. Divers describe the surreal beauty of drifting through a bloom, where the water glows with pulses of light, as if the stars themselves have fallen into the ocean. Many species are bioluminescent, lighting up in flashes of green and blue, dazzling predators, or perhaps just enchanting anyone lucky enough to witness them. Scientists study their proteins, discovering tools that allow us to trace cells, fight diseases, and even push the boundaries of genetic research. The same creatures that shut down power plants and sting swimmers also hold keys to medical breakthroughs that could change humanity's future. Yet their rise is a warning. Jellyfish populations are exploding in nearly every ocean. Warmer seas, overfishing, pollutional factors tied to human activity create perfect conditions for their dominance. Off the coast of Korea, blooms have become so common that the government deploys special jellyfish shredding boats to break them apart before they devastate fisheries. In the Black Sea, one invasive jellyfish species wiped out local anchovy stocks, collapsing economies overnight. Some scientists even fear that we are entering a gelatinous age where the balance of ocean ecosystems tips permanently in favor of jellyfish, turning vast stretches of sea into lifeless zones where only these pulsing drifters remain. And the truth is, there's very little we can do to stop them. How do you fight a creature that can reproduce both sexually and asexually? It can revert from its adult form back to its polyp state and essentially start life over again, making it biologically immortal. The Turritopsis dohrnii, sometimes called the immortal jellyfish, has this uncanny ability. When threatened by starvation or injury, it collapses into a ball, sinks, and transforms back into its juvenile stage, erasing age itself. No human, no animal we know of has such a gift. For jellyfish, death is optional. Perhaps that is why their encounters with human technology feel so symbolic. Nuclear plants, desalination facilities, massive ships, our most advanced achievements fall vulnerable to a swarm of brainless blobs. It is nature reminding us that complexity does not always equal supremacy. In their silent, mindless way, jellyfish show us that survival is not about intelligence or strength, but about adaptation. They've survived every catastrophe this planet has endured, and as the seas change under our influence, they may be the ones inheriting what we leave behind. Still, not every story is one of fear. Along Japanese coasts, some communities harvest jellyfish as food, turning them into crunchy salads. In science labs, jellyfish proteins glow under microscopes, revolutionizing biology. In art, they inspire paintings, photography, and even architecture, their ethereal forms mirrored in design. There is something both terrifying and humbling in their presence creatures, so simple, yet so enduring. It's fragile yet unstoppable, alien yet deeply of this earth. The next time you stand at the shoreline, watching the waves roll in, think about what lurks beneath. The ocean is not just home to whales and sharks, but to these quiet drifters that can appear by the billions. Rewriting coastlines and disrupting lives without malice, without thought, without even knowing they are doing it. They are both monsters and miracles, dangers and wonders, and they remind us of a truth we often forget. The sea is not ours to control, and as jellyfish continue their silent rise, the question isn't whether they will change our world, it's how much of it they will claim as their own. Will our children swim in oceans ruled by jellies, seas too dangerous for fishing or play? Or will we find ways to coexist, harnessing their secrets even as we guard against their sting?
One thing
is certain: jellyfish are not going away. If anything, they are only just beginning to show us the depth of their power. So next time you hear of beaches closed, fisheries destroyed, or even power plants shut down, remember it wasn't war, it wasn't sabotage, it wasn't disaster. It was jellyfish, pulsing through the currents like living ghosts. Ancient rulers of the sea reclaiming what has always been theirs. If you found this story as haunting and fascinating as the jellyfish themselves, make sure to like this video. Subscribe for more deep dives into the hidden mysteries of our world, and turn on notifications so you never miss a journey into the unknown. The ocean has many more secrets to tell, and together we'll uncover them.